Dear friends, on the occasion of National Moon Day, let's understand the Moon's orbital period and movement. The Moon orbits the Earth approximately every 29.5 days while undergoing a cycle of waxing and waning. The orbital period of the Moon, i.e. the period of time taken for the Moon to orbit the Earth while changing its phase, is referred to as one lunar, synodic, month. Because the Earth rotates from west to east on its own axis, when viewed from the Earth, the Moon appears to rise in the east and set in the west in the same way as the Sun. However, as this occurs, the Moon is actually moving gradually from west to east by a little each day, and the time at which the Moon rises becomes later every day. This is due to the fact that the Moon orbits the Earth with an average orbital period of approximately 29.5 days, or more precisely 29.530589 days, while the Earth orbits the Sun over a period of 365 days. A simple calculation tells us that dividing the Moon's orbit of 360 degrees by 29.5 days gives 11.8, meaning that the Moon shifts from west to east by approximately 12 degrees per day. The Earth must spin that much more on its own axis, and this means that the time at which the Moon rises becomes later by the equivalent of those 12 degrees each day. The rate of rotation of the Earth on its own axis is 360 degrees every 24 hours, meaning that 12 degrees equates to approximately 50 minutes. 24 hours times 12 360 degrees equals 0.8 hours equals approximately 50 minutes, meaning that the Moon rises around 50 minutes later each day. Observing the Moon from Earth. 15 days after the beginning of a lunar cycle, the Moon, rising approximately 50 minutes later each day and moving towards the east, is exactly 12 hours later in terms of time, and has shifted by 180 degrees from west to east. For example, if we were to observe the position and phase, state of waxing and waning, of the Moon at the same time, for example midnight, every day, and to sketch and summarize in one picture how the Moon appeared over the course of 15 days, it would look something like the picture on the left. The waxing first quarter moon seen in the western sky on the day of commencing observation would change to appear as a full moon in the southern sky 8 days later, and eventually as a waning third quarter moon on the opposite side, in the eastern sky, a difference of 180 degrees, 15 days after commencing observation. Lunar phases, waxing and waning. actual periods of lunar cycles. The average period of a lunar cycle of waxing and waning is approximately 29.5 days, but in reality, the actual period fluctuates in a complex manner between around 29.3 and 29.8 days. This is the reason why lunar calendars, which are based on the period of the moon's lunar cycle, have long months of 30 days and short months of 29 days. Incidentally, lunar calendars have 354.36 days to a year. 29.53 days times 12 equals 354.36, 10.64 fewer days than our standard calendar, which has 365 days. This meant that in the past it was necessary to make adjustments with intercalary leap days, and leap months around once every 3 years. What is moon phase? Moon phase is the amount of time that has passed since the new moon, expressed in units of days. At the instant of the new moon it is 0.0, and it increases by 1.0 for each day that passes after the new moon. The first quarter moon appears around age 7, with the full moon appearing around age 15, and the third quarter moon appearing around age 22. When this figure nears around 30, it means that the moon is approaching the beginning of a new cycle, i.e. the next new moon. The reason why there are sometimes numbers after the decimal point is that moon phase is typically represented in terms of the moon's age at noon on any given day. When we calculate the age of the current moon at noon, counting from the instant of the new moon, we will always get an answer that is a mixed number containing a fraction of less than 24 hours, 1 day. Moon phase is almost synonymously linked with the phases of the moon. However, because the moon follows an elliptical orbit around the Earth, due to the influence of the Sun, which rotates over a period of approximately 8.85 years, the moon moves faster when it is nearer to the Earth, and moves slowly when it is further away. As a result of this, the speed of the moon's cycle of waxing and waning is not fixed. For example, the moon's age at full moon is not fixed at 15 days, but in fact fluctuates between values of 13.8 and 15.8 for each lunar cycle. The Chushing incident, a famous story in Japan, in which a band of 47 ronin-masterless samurai avenged the death of their master, is said to have taken place